Welcome to An Hour to Give. Today is all about Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Ottawa, and I'm so excited to welcome to the show Brianna Dewsome. Hello, Brianna. How are you?
Sam. It's nice to connect with you again.
It's wonderful to have you here. What is your role with Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
I'm the Director of Programs and Community Partnerships. So my role is ultimately just making sure that our service delivery team feels well supported, that we are really responding to the needs of the children in our community.
Wonderful. And you've brought a friend. Michelle Effier is here as well, Vice Chair of the Board. That's a big job.
It is. It's a wonderful job. So I've been in that role for 2 years now, and I'm a former big sister too. I was a big sister for a number of years myself. So it's a great continuation of my work with the organization.
I love that.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be here. I'm a big fan, as you know, of this organization. So take me back to the day you decided to become a big sister.
It was, it's funny because I know when I first put my name forward to be a big sister, there was a bit of a wait list. And by the time they called me for the opportunity, I was pregnant with my first child. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is something I can take on now. But I was matched with a young teenager. She was 15 at the time. And just the way that the programming worked at that time is that the matches age out when the child turns 16. So we knew it would be sort of a short official match. And at the time, being pregnant, I thought, okay, this is kind of perfect because I don't know what my life is going to look like after this. So we had a few years together as an official match, but then we graduated when she turned 16, and we stayed in touch. And now I'm almost embarrassed to say this because it makes me feel very old, but she is, she's now married with a young family of her own, which makes me feel about 100 years old, of course. Yeah. But at that time, when I made the decision to be a big sister, I had certainly benefited from strong mentors in my life, whether it was academically or coaches in sports. And then, I went on to a career in STEM. And as a woman in STEM, I had great mentorship, and I wanted to pay that forward and certainly do that within my community. So it was just the perfect opportunity.
And in your role, is this the dream, right? That you find people that really want to give back in this way?
Yes, and I mean in different ways. Like as a mentor, I think that's really awesome that they have that intention. They've recognized the impact that mentors have had on their own lives, and then they bring that into the work that they're doing with the children and youth that they support. But it's also lovely that she brings this experience of being a mentor to the board. I think that also is something that we're really lucky to have.
Yeah, it's definitely a really important lens for sure. I want to ask you, Brianna, I think a lot of people think, oh, I know what Big Brothers Big Sisters does, but do we, right? I mean, walk us through what this organization is all about.
Yes, so we have been a mentoring organization for over 50 years within the Ottawa community. We are focused on mentoring. That's what we do. And it's really just our intentional screening process. It's our intentional matching process that really takes into account who the child is, who the mentor is, and how they can really develop a relationship that will grow and thrive.
It's amazing. And when I think about, all of the different opportunities for kids these days, there can be a divide, right? That not everybody gets those kinds of opportunities. So I think this organization, with the way it's been set up, it puts people on an equal footing.
Yeah, couldn't agree more strongly. This is a way to level the playing field in our community. And then when you think about sort of what mentoring does, or think about like the future of what these kids go on to do, right? Studies have shown that children that have strong mentorship, they go on to make a greater impact in their communities. They mentor others. They donate more. They're more involved in charities. So it really does have a very long-lasting impact in our community to not just level the playing field now, but certainly in the future as well.
And the impact, on society as a whole, we know that every dollar that's invested comes back. Is it 27-fold?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. See, I got my numbers right. So I think that might be a surprise to people, Brianna.
Yeah, I think that it's just much more than what you see. It's much more than a relationship that you see people engaging in activities. It's really just fostering the next generation to be successful and to feel like they are able to contribute to the community.
And I think, and we're going to speak with Hope Wood soon. and I love Hope Wood. I mean, she's doing some.
With her.
Yeah, she's doing some great stuff. Of course, running Thrive. I think Susan Ingram, of course, the executive director, couldn't be with us today, which I know she's very sad about that. But I think she's been really creative with the board to think about those ways to reach out to the community, ensure that the dollars are there to make the sustainability in terms of being a program that can last forever here in this community. What's it like to be part of a board that kind of thinks outside the box?
Yeah, I really can't say enough wonderful things about Susan and certainly the board. I think when I think about Susan's vision for the organization and the board, she's thinking about the community, she's thinking about representation across the community, making sure that the board represents our community, that we're bringing voices from across that community. And then in terms of the culture and the environment on this board, it's such a special environment, right? It's one of those environments where we can have those meaty discussions and challenge each other in a way that's very respectful, of course, but really drives toward the right outcomes that we're looking for. It is a fabulous group of community leaders, frankly.
Yeah, it's wonderful. What's the biggest challenge that you face at Big Brothers Big Sisters? I'm assuming it's the wait list.
It is funding, but also it's the wait list. It's finding the right mentors. People think, okay, we might have this amount of people on the wait list for volunteers and this amount of people on the wait list for children and youth. Just match them. And that's not how it works. We really take into account the values, the lived experiences, the interests. Do they like playing football? Does their mentor like playing football? Like, how can we make sure that all of them is captured in the match?
And I think every year I get invited, and I'm always so grateful to be invited to the big awards. The big shout out, and I love it because up there, people have been matched and they have been together for 5 years, and then you see people that have stayed in each other's lives for 20, 30 years, and it's the stories that you tell. I mean, that must drive you and the team to keep on doing this great work.
Yes, it does. I also was a big sister in another community in Victoria, so I also kind of understand that role of mentors. And I think just the connection is not just for the period, the 5 years, the 10 years, the 20 years. The connection carries, and I just hear it even in friends. It can be friends that they knew someone that had a mentor and they got to be around that mentor, and that also had an impact on them. So I think the impact really spans across our community.
And I think there's this perception that it's only the little brother, the little sister that's going to benefit. And when I go to the Big Shout Out Awards, I mean, of course they benefit. Of course, that's why we're all here. But it's the stories of people that said their lives were changed because they became a big brother or a big sister. I mean, that's impactful.
Oh, I couldn't agree more with that. I am certain I got more out of that match than my little sister did in many ways. You learn about acceptance, about inclusion, about what it means to be supported. And then it's interesting because they expand your horizons a little bit too, right? So ideally you find someone who likes, similar interests, but that's never going to be a perfect match, right? You're going to, take on some of their interests and they're going to take on some of yours. And then it's and especially in my experience, right? I got to know, my little's family. When I had my first baby, like they became part of our lives too, right? So I learned about their culture and their family. So it really was such an enriching experience, and I think that's such an important point that we highlight here.
It's awesome. I mean, I can't say enough about how when we think about the people that come into our lives and the fact that Big Brothers Big Sisters has been there for so many people, around for over 50 years. That's hard to believe, Brianna.
Yes, there's been a long-standing impact within our community, and I think that we're just looking to continue to grow and continue to look to support more children and youth that could benefit from a mentor. And
we're going to speak with Erin Helmer a little bit later about some of those funding requirements as well and how people can get involved. Big golf tournament coming up, of course, which is exciting. There's always a big breakfast that happens every fall as well to make sure the community knows how important this organization is.
And we're also going to talk with Levi later in the show, and I think that will also kind of speak to how we really want to intentionally match and the work that goes into that.
And when you sit around the boardroom table and you know that there's a wait list, does that weigh on you?
Incredibly, right? That's what we're here to do, right? This is exactly when you think about your mission as a board member, right? How can we get the funding we need to get to reduce that wait list, right? That is job number one. here, and it certainly does. It weighs on me, and I'm certain it weighs on every member of our board.
Absolutely. And tell me a little bit about the team. Who else is on your team at Big Brothers Big Sisters?
So you've spoken to Susan. We have our development team, our development coordinator. We have marketing and event specialists. On my team specifically, we have mentoring coordinators. So our mentoring coordinator and our enrollment coordinator, they really make sure that we have the children and youth and the mentors matched, screened and matched. And then our mentoring coordinators, they support them throughout the entirety of the match, starting from the match introduction, any questions and concerns they have throughout the match, and just providing them with different opportunities.
I think it's a really important point, because I think that people are a little bit worried maybe to put their name forward, not understanding how much they're going to be supported. Talk a little bit about that, Brianna, because I think it's an important point.
Sorry, to put their name forward?
To put their name forward. Like, people are a bit nervous to maybe volunteer, not knowing, like, they think they're just going to be matched with someone, and then that's where Big Brothers Big Sisters steps out. That's really when you step in, right?
Of course.
Supporting through that. So walk us through that support that you provide.
So I think that, again, the intentionality starts from when they sign up to be a volunteer. We want to make sure that they have the readiness, willingness, and capacity to be a mentor. So that's really just taking into account different things that are happening in their lives, life changes. Do they have anything they expect to happen in the future? And then we have those conversations with them. And then we provide really intentional training that speaks to the different children and youth that they may support. And then from there, we have a match introduction. And we give them a time to really, after the match introduction, to think about, is this the right match for you? And we have that conversation with them. And then they make that decision whether to proceed with the match. We don't make that decision. They do. And from there, the mentoring coordinators are along holding their hand throughout the entirety of the match, just really checking in regularly, of regular check-ins, more so at the beginning, and then they span out a little bit more. But check-ins where they just see that the match is growing and thriving.
And you want it to last, right? That's the goal. And that's why this is such an important point to be able to do that. Have you gone to Thrive? Have you shopped at Thrive?
I shop at Thrive, and I regularly donate to Thrive. In fact, I was over this weekend donating clothes to our collection bin in Manotick.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's wonderful to have that. And I think as a board member too, it's something for you to tell the community about, right?
That's it, right? I think certainly we all think about sustainability now, and a great way to support this wonderful organization with sustainability in mind. It's win-win.
We're going to hear all about it from Hope Wood. Walk us through as well. I mean, there's special events that happen throughout the year. I know there's hockey games and football games and all sorts of exciting things that the kids can participate in with their big brothers and their big sisters. How important is it for you to have those get-togethers where they come together as a group?
I think it's an awesome opportunity to connect.
Well, thank you so much. I have learned so much about Big Brothers Big Sisters Ottawa today. I thought I knew a lot, but you taught me a lot. Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us. I appreciate it very much. And Brianna, thank you for all the great work you do as well.
Thank you.
We're going to be back here on An Hour to Give to talk more about Big Brothers Big Sisters Ottawa. Stay with us, everyone. And we are back on An Hour to Give, and we've got something big to tell you about, and that is, of course, Thrive. We're going to talk about this incredible social enterprise with the one and only Hope Wood. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hey, Sam. Doing good. How are you?
I'm so excited because I've known about Thrive since its inception, and to see it grow over these years and to see it literally thriving is an absolute thrill. For those that are not familiar with this organization, tell us what Thrive does at Big Brothers Big Sisters Ottawa.
So Thrive Select Thrift is our social enterprise, which means that we support our programs by having a place where people can donate used goods, clothing, and household goods. We then sell those to make proceeds that go towards our programs.
It's perfect.
Simple.
It's a win-win-win.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's your role?
So my role is the business development manager for the social enterprise. So I take care of making sure that the store is staffed with volunteers, that we have a really good program for youth to be able to have employment skills, and we also take care of all the clothing bins throughout the city.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's go way back. So if somebody has something to donate,
Yes.
then they're gonna find one of these bins. How do we know where the bins are for Thrive?
So you can find them on our website at thrivethrift.com, or you can also find them on Big Brothers Big Sisters, so bbbso.ca. And they'll have a map there, which bin is closest to you. Now that's one option. The second option is you can bring them directly to the store at 1547 Maryville Road. And our third option is if you have a really large amount of clothing or items to give or big furniture, we can come pick that up.
Okay, so there's no excuse. We can
There's
get
no
stuff to
excuse.
you. We can
Yeah.
get it to you. And the location is brilliant, by the way, on Maryville Road, sort of between Meadowlands and Baseline. It's this beautiful, it used to be called the Emerald Plaza.
Yes, for sure.
And right near Staples. I'm trying to give people kind of a guide of how to find it. But what I love about it, you're in this beautiful, bright location.
Yes.
And when I think people think about thrifting, they might think it's maybe a little bit smelly and a little bit dark and a little bit dingy. You are the opposite of all of that.
Yeah, we're definitely more like a boutique style.
Yes.
But thrift prices, probably even lower than some of our other thrift options. So we have designed the store for people that want to thrift because it's trendy and fun. They have a beautiful place to thrift. And for people that have to financially thrift, it's still an inviting place. They don't feel like they're getting secondhand items. They feel like they're in a boutique and it's welcoming.
But the quality is spectacular.
Oh yeah, it's spectacular. Well, you know, because you give me all your donations.
I do. Yes.
So if you want a Sam Laprade original, I mean, it's at the store.
You're funny. That's funny. Yeah, it's great. And I mean, there's items where I'm embarrassed to say that I bought it. There's a tag still on it. I've never worn it. Either doesn't fit, I don't like it anymore, whatever. But there's items I've maybe worn 5 or 6 times, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to pass it on. But I think everybody's kind of that idea that it's high quality items.
It definitely is high quality items. We get anywhere from Coach and Michael Kors all the way down to Old Navy, Joe Fresh. So there is a good variable of what you can see in there. But our kids' clothing is always $2, Sam.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, it's back to school time. There are mums listening, watching right now going, oh my gosh, could I get my kid outfitted for back to school?
They definitely can. We have clothing for all ages, all genders. $2 a piece for kids' clothes. That includes the shoes. On top of that, for the month, we are celebrating our 2nd anniversary.
Yes.
So we have a find a gift card in store for $50.
Okay, how
Every
does
single
that
day,
work?
we're going to put a new one out for you.
So you're going to be looking at something and you're going to come across it.
You're going to come across it,
I
yeah.
love it.
Might be in a pocket, might be on our books, might be in a cup, who knows?
Oh, I love that. I love that. You're really creative of how you've set up the store, and once again, it's bright, it's fresh, it smells great. I mean, all of that. I think part of it is people have this perception once again that it's not like that. So you've sort of broke down some of those barriers as well.
For sure. I think that when I take my experience from fast fashion, I took that and kind of said, how can we make it work here in this setting? So instead of just displaying clothing on racks all over, can we make beautiful displays with mannequins? Can we showcase the better items in different ways in show boxes? Which I think worked out really well. And of course, having strong leadership with Susan, and she's so creative with ideas as well. And the whole team really gets to give their input, and sometimes our volunteers give us great ideas.
For sure. Susan Ingram, Executive Director, this was a dream of hers for a very long time. It's come to fruition. 2 years in this location. I can't believe it because it feels like we just opened that thing yesterday.
It does.
But 2 years have gone past. It's been wonderful to see the growth of the organization. The volunteers that are there, they are dedicated. And I'm going to talk about one volunteer in particular. You probably know who it is, and that's Keith Egley, who every single week on social media is like, oh, look what you can get at Thrive. Look what you can get at Thrive. It's awesome.
Yes, Keith and Kristen are there every Tuesday evening. They're dedicated, but with the clothing and for sorting and purchasing and the social media. But what I love most is that they really do take the time to show younger volunteers that are maybe in high school or early college the ropes of retail and how to do customer service, how to have those interactions so you can be memorable to people, and the importance of soft skills like getting to work on time, making sure that you share your ideas, and we're creating those really great spaces for kids can come and share and learn and be part of the community.
When we think about Thrive, we think about an S word and that style, but we also think about sustainability, right? This is about sustainability. Talk to me about that.
So sustainability in a couple different ways. So we've created a new stream of income for Big Brothers Big Sisters, so we'll make our organization a little bit more sustainable. But also we're keeping thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds out of landfills every week. So every week I get a report of how much we kept out, and this week was 7,000 pounds of clothing. That's just the clothing, Sam. That's not including everything else that stayed out of landfills and that goes into our store or maybe into the hands of other people that might need it.
That's amazing.
For sure.
And I love that you have, once again, from kids' clothes, men's, women's, and you have plus-size clothes as well.
We do. We carry a really good collection of plus size. I'm always on the lookout for more. As we know, it's always the highest price in a store, always hard to find, especially the styles. So any plus-size clothing, please bring it to the store. We also are starting to have more clothing swaps. So we'll be having a kids' clothing swap soon in October. Keep the date open there. And then we'll also be having plus-size clothing swaps.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
for sure.
And I think people as well, you know, are maybe surprised that the funds go back to Big Brothers Big Sisters. When they find that out, what's the reaction?
They're always like, oh, really? Oh. And then they might make a donation at the store, because it's very easy to do that, a monetary donation. Or they might decide that they're coming back with a big truckload for me.
Right. So they see that there's an opportunity for them to get involved.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love that.
A lot of our customers have turned into volunteers or just people that are helping us create awareness for the store, so they're spreading the word.
Which is great.
Yeah, for sure.
And you do all sorts of special events as well. Talk to me about that.
So we've had all of our anniversaries. We have clothing swaps at the store. We do disco bus from the store. That one's one of my favorites. So we just set out with 40 people on a bus to different communities, and we go do local shopping and thrifting in those communities.
So smart.
We've partnered with that with Catherine Landry from She Shops Local. So that's one of my favorites.
Yes.
We also have done all of our Big Possibility classes in store for programs.
And what's that? Tell me about that.
So they do resume skills, interview skills. They had a LinkedIn class, how to create a really dynamic profile. So our program team are organizing that and then having them at the store, and we're providing the youth with a free outfit for their next interview as well.
Oh, how smart is that?
For sure.
Yeah. So are you looking for volunteers still?
Always looking for volunteers, always need more. So they get 30% off at the store. They get to help, if they're older, they might be creating, being an involuntary mentor to some of the youth, helping them have skills. And they also will be just having fun, talking to the community. I think that we have a pretty fun store. We like to listen to some music, go through all the clothing together, maybe sometimes do fashion shows and reels and social media posts. So definitely a fun place to be.
Well, my daughter Avery, she spent some time with you, and she still raves about it and thought it was a wonderful volunteer experience. And especially when the kids have to get their volunteer hours, right? This is the perfect place to go.
Definitely. Not only are they just getting their 40 hours of volunteer, they can do more hours if they choose to, like Avery. She did a couple hundred, I think, with us. But then afterwards, too, they're getting those employable skills so that they can go get a part-time job before college or university, so that they can have something on their resume and a reference as well, which is super important to youth at that age.
Oh, 100%. So how are we finding you?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. Definitely come down to the store and check us out. And you can find us on our website as well.
And I love it because I get these little texts. I think you're just sending it to me, but I know you send it to everyone that's signed up. But I get these little texts saying, hey, today 50% off, and sign up for this, sign up for that. So you're really trying to not only become a thrift store, but you're trying to become a community hub.
For sure, yeah. We do send out those text messages with our loyalty plan. So every time someone spends $85 in store, they've created a match with us for a month. Wow. So we reward them by giving them $5 back to spend in store, and also send out those text messages to let people know when we're having big sales or something fun's happening.
So you're wanting people to shop, you're wanting people to donate, you're wanting people to volunteer, and you're wanting people to donate money. It's fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Just come down and hang out with me for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, location is 1574?
1547.
1547 Maryville Road. Thrive Thrift Select is the place to be. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Hope Wood joining us, of course, from Big Brothers Big Sisters Ottawa, talking all about that wonderful thrift store that you can go to. I'm always talking about it on social media too, so make sure that you have an opportunity to visit. When we come back, we are going to meet Levi. You will not want to miss it. Today on An Hour to Give, all about Big Brothers Big Sisters Ottawa. I'm Sam Laprade. Stay with us, everyone. Hi, I'm Sam Laprade. Welcome back to An Hour to Give. Is all about Big Brothers Big Sisters Ottawa today. We spoke a little bit about Thrived, their thrift store. We spoke about programs, and now we're going to talk about the impact of this important organization. And Beth and Levi Bell join me now. Hello, you two.
Hi.
It's so wonderful to have you here. Levi, how old are you?
8.
8? Do you like being 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool age. And where do you go to school?
Woodruff Avenue Public School.
Okay, that's fantastic. What grade are you in?
Grade 3.
Grade 3 was my favorite year. Are you having fun so far?
Yes, I love grade 3.
Do you? Me too. I love grade 3 too. And Mom, tell me a little bit about Levi.
Well, Levi is 8 years old, like you said, just started grade 3. He likes all kinds of sports. He has lots of friends. He's very social. And in 2018, I adopted Levi from Haiti. So he's a newer Canadian, and he's just all around a great kid.
You are an all-around great kid. I've got to spend time with you before we jumped on here, and I'm so glad that you're here. And representing, of course, Big Brothers Big Sisters Ottawa today, because we really want to get the important message out, Beth, that there's kids like Levi that are looking for that match. They're looking for their big brother or their big sister.
Right.
How important is it for that connection for Levi?
I think it's important for all kids to have a connection outside their own parent or parents. It fosters such an independence, I feel. As a single parent, Levi and I spend, mostly all of our time together except for school and work. And to give him the opportunity to spend time with another adult and see things from another perspective other than me, I feel like it gives a level of confidence to kids that they might not normally get without a mentor or a big.
And so we know that you're waiting for your match right now, Levi, right? You're waiting for a big brother match. What would you do with a big brother? What kind of activities would you do?
I would play soccer with him. We could go to hockey games. We could go to movies, soccer games, parks, and a lot of fun like that.
Yeah, you would have a lot of fun. You've got a good list there, that's for sure. And it would be really good for you too, Mom. And I think that part maybe isn't talked about a lot, but it would be such a great opportunity for you to see Levi grow in that way as well.
Absolutely. I can teach Levi a lot of things as his mom. How to interact with people, how to be kind, what's important in life. I can't teach him to be a man, and I can't teach him to be black. And we are specifically waiting for a black big brother for Levi, because representation matters. And for him to have that role model is really important.
And you're excited about this opportunity, hopefully soon, right? Yeah. And talk to me a little bit about your day-to-day. You go to school. Are you involved in any other activities?
Yes.
Yeah, what else do you do?
In my day?
Yes. Tell me about a day in the life of Levi.
Well, usually I would go to school, usually at EDP, and I would usually play or go on my teacher's computer or something, watching videos. And then we would have to go to class, and my teacher, Madame Natalie, she teaches us for French and the morning part of it, and then we have like the other different chunks, and then like we have math and language with Miss Reed, and then we have gym with Madame Salika.
Oh, it's hard to remember all that. I'm impressed. That's wonderful. So you have a very full, busy day. And is Levi involved in any other programs?
I'm sure I'll think of more after, but really, hockey season is upon
yes.
us. He's in his 3rd year of hockey, 2nd year of U9, so we're very excited about that. In the summer, he likes to play ball hockey as well as soccer, and we did a lot of camping this summer. So he's just that. In between play dates really takes up all of our time.
For sure, absolutely. No, you're a busy guy for sure. And did you know about Big Brothers Big Sisters when Mom told you about it, or was it something that Mom sort of explained how it all worked with you?
She explained how it all worked.
It's a pretty cool concept, isn't it? Yeah. And you know, some people stay in touch with their Big Brothers Big Sisters for like 20 years. That's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, we heard about that before when they talked about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see those kind of relationships, and I think it's really important that you talk about, you know, how it would be to match somebody that's appropriate. You know, they might have volunteers that are looking for matches, but they really take time at Big Brothers Big Sisters to make sure that match is the right match. How important is that for you as a mom?
It's super important to me, and I heard you talking earlier about once you're matched, then the mentor might feel like they're on their own. But the support you get from Big Brothers Big Sisters continues on. And even though we're waiting for a match, they've included us in so many activities. We've gone to hockey games, we've been to the trampoline park, we've taken dance lessons. It's such an inclusive community that I think people don't need to be afraid to commit their time. I think what they would get in return would really benefit them as well.
What's your biggest dream for Levi?
Oh, just that he's happy. That he figures out, you know, how to navigate through life, and is happy doing it.
What's your biggest dream? Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
I either want to be a hockey player or a soccer player. I love playing both sports, and I practice a lot, and that's usually all I watch at home, soccer or hockey.
Yeah, I can see that. Can I go watch you play when you're famous?
Sure.
Okay, I'll be in the stands going, I used to know him when he was a kid. That's what I'll tell everybody, yeah. And it's great, Mom, I think, to have this opportunity with Big Brothers Big Sisters, even sharing Levi's story today. You never know who's listening and watching, right? I mean, that's what excites me the most, is that today we could be making that connection. I mean, that would be wonderful.
Yes, I really hope so. I just feel like it's such a great program, and we've been on the waiting list now for a couple of years, so we're really looking forward to getting Levi matched.
What's your favorite school subjects? What do you like doing the most? Do you like French?
I really like math, and I also like physics. It's one of my favorites too. Yeah. And then recess is always fun.
Okay, so recess was my favorite. So we have that in common, right? Recess was my favorite. And you were telling me your favorite color was blue. Yeah, that's why I wore this blue jacket for you today. Yeah. Pretty cool. So I think that's an opportunity too, Mom. Like when you think about, if he's got an interest in math, I mean, that's wonderful to try and find an opportunity to maybe the match has an interest as well, right?
Yes, and there's so many opportunities around Ottawa to get involved, no matter what your interest is. There's STEM. What's the word?
Programs,
STEM programs. Whatever your interest is, you can find an activity to take your little brother or little sister to, I'd say.
What would you say to other mums and dads that are thinking about starting this process, even though it's been a long process for you? What would you say to someone else that's maybe listening or watching and they're thinking about reaching out to Big Brothers Big Sisters?
I would say do it. I would say find the next upcoming information session, or if there's none for a little while, just reach out to the organization. They are so responsive. They've been so keeping us in the loop all the way during our wait, but they've just included us, even though we don't have a big brother yet.
Have you been to Thrive, the store yet?
We have not.
Okay, so that's your homework today. You've got to go to
Yes.
Thrive because it's wonderful there.
Yes,
it's an
that's what I've
opportunity, and I
heard.
love the fact that this is a store you can go and you can buy really really cool stuff. But I love the fact it's sustainable as well, and maybe that's somewhere that Levi could volunteer someday.
Yes,
that would be
maybe.
full circle. Wouldn't it?
What's Thrive?
So it's a store that you go where people donate items, and then you go there and purchase items. So maybe you and Mom can take a little trek there someday. And then kids go there and they volunteer, and then all the money goes back to help Big Brothers Big Sisters. How cool is that? It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. So this is an opportunity as well for you to maybe thank some donors. I mean, this is an opportunity. They're only there because of their love of mentorship. What would you say to someone that's listening right now that's donated to this wonderful organization?
I would just say thank you so much for your time. Maybe you don't realize the impact that you have on another human being and how you can change their life and make them feel important. It's really all about that human connection, and it's probably not articulated enough to people who do volunteer their times, but I just say thank you.
And I love when the definition as we talk about philanthropy is time, talent, and treasure. And what I love about Big Brothers Big Sisters, it really is all of that. People donating their time to become a big brother, big sister, donating their talents, maybe they're board members, like we spoke with Michelle earlier. And then there's obviously those gifts, which can be so many different ways of giving, which is obviously the money portion. They can donate clothing, donate household goods. So it's just it's a wonderful organization. Yeah, I'm so glad to have the opportunity to talk to you today and learn all about you and Levi. You've inspired me today. Did you know you're an inspiration?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought you knew that. Well, I hope you find, and I hope the next time that we chat that you've been matched to a wonderful big brother and he gets to experience all sorts of different fun things with you. It was lovely having you on the show. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much too.
Thank you very much.
To Levi and Beth Bell. Thank you. Thank you for joining us and sharing your important story today. When we come back, my friend's going to be here. Her name is Erin Helmer. She's going to tell us how you can help. Stay with us on An Hour to Give. Well, we've learned all about the important impact that Big Brothers Big Sisters makes in this community. Now we're going to tell you how you can help, and Erin Helmer's here to do just that. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi, Sam.
It's lovely to have you here.
Oh, I'm always happy to be here with you.
Aw, you have a really important job. So tell me
like to
what
think
your
so.
role is. Yeah.
Well, I often say charities don't run on air. So we do need the community to come out and support us. And I don't think it would be a surprise to anybody that the last couple of years we've seen a decline in the charitable sector as inflation grows and those economic challenges happen, the first thing to go is charitable giving, and that people will pull back on. I say it's charitable giving and then vacations.
Right. True. And you know, you're very, very lucky because you have got some very loyal donors that have been with you for a very long time. You couldn't do it without them, Erin, but we're always looking, of course, to inspire new donors.
Yeah. It often feels like it's never enough, right? Because the need, you know, the need dictates what we need to raise. So the need is growing. We have about 100 children plus on our wait list currently. So we want to get those kids off those wait lists. You know, there's unique challenges to that. Obviously, Levi, you know, the challenges are very unique with them, securing a mentor, the recruitment of that mentor. But also there is a cost involved for, you know, creating and sustaining these matches. We say $1,000, but it's actually more than that. And you'll probably see us coming out in the next year with a larger number because our costs as an organization have grown. And we're trying to meet that demand. We want to treat our staff, you know, well and create environments that make really great ways of working, and you know, the costs have gone up for everybody, and that includes the charitable organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters of Ottawa. So, you know, my job with the organization is twofold. I oversee the fundraising, and I have a wonderful team helping me with that, and I also oversee our marketing and communications. So it's my job to make sure that community knows who we are and what we do, and that's often challenged because of the work that we do. It's very quiet, it's very private, it's very meaningful, but we don't have buildings that have our name on it and stuff like that. So, you know, when I can guarantee, and I'll put my hand down and swear on whatever, but I can guarantee that in every community in the Ottawa region, there is a match happening, and the community members just don't know. But, you know, Levi's looking for that connection, and we have over 700 matches in the city.
That's incredible. I mean, I think to your point, and I bump into people all the time that say, "Oh, I was a big brother, or I was a little brother, or I was a big sister." I mean, those are those kinds of connections that go over decades, and you know, you just think about this is just 1 year with 700 people, but every year, you know, all of that connects, and then it just embraces and enriches the community.
Well, yeah, and you touched on it earlier with Brianna and Michelle about the long-term investment return that you get by donating to Big Brothers Big Sisters, and that's like studies have shown that to be true. It's not something we just say. But the other thing too is that we as an organization, we have so much to offer. So we have programs for if there's a corporation or a business that wants to get involved with us, we call it the Our Ignite program, and that's opportunities. We can customize any proposal, we can customize any partnership, and we're happy to do that because your business is as unique as our organization. We also have wonderful campaigns coming up for being at Big Brothers Big Sisters Month. We're doing a campaign, we're calling it 30 Matches in 30 Days. We're trying to raise $30,000 this month. So if there's anybody watching or knows of somebody that's got an extra $30,000, we'd love to talk with them. But you know, those are the large major gifts, of course. But, you know, what truly makes an organization great is the amount of support that we receive. And, you know, everybody has a number that they can afford. And we're just asking to think about Big Brothers Big Sisters when they do that.
And I think it's so important because people can give in so many different ways. You mentioned, you know, obviously that one-time gift. A lot of people now, and I find, I need nothing. I need nothing for my house. I need nothing. You know, people give a gift in my name to charity for my birthday or for whatever. I love that. So people give in tribute to somebody, potentially in memory of somebody. And then, of course, can we talk about monthly giving? Because I love monthly giving.
It's the most sustainable way to give.
Okay, let's talk about the sustainability of it. Explain it, what it would be. Let's say if somebody gave $100 a month, what would that do?
Well, that is a match.
Right.
$85 a month is a match. If $85 is something that you can't afford, but you can do $5 a month, don't think that that doesn't have value. It does. And if you want to learn more about our organization and or support our current 30 and 30 campaign, or learn more about other opportunities to support our work, you just need to go to bbbso.ca, and it's all there.
And you guys are everywhere. I mean, you've got
We literally are everywhere.
You are everywhere, because I watch your social media. I see what's happening. And of course, Thrive and everything that's happening there. I love watching that. But you've got a golf tournament. You've got all sorts of different opportunities for people to get involved. Talk to me about all of that.
Okay, so this month we have our 30 and 30, which we're trying to, and that's to get people off the wait list.
Right.
Those are donations we're seeking to help individuals like Levi, although he has a unique situation. The golf tournament, which is our biggest fundraiser of the year, we are sold out of our sponsorships at this point and of our foursomes. So we're thinking towards the future. What does that look like? Again, with our Ignite program, there's other naming partnership opportunities. You can do a cause-related marketing initiative with us. We are looking for third-party events. We're a small organization. We're 13 people strong. I say we're small but mighty. But we're looking to expand our circle of support and partner with businesses and individuals and community groups that want to do something good for their community and they don't know who to do it with. Well, Big Brothers Big Sisters is that answer.
And the gifts of securities as well. Some people forget that there's a big gain to get rid of those capital gains by giving to charity. So securities is something you would accept as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we love those little surprises that you get every once in a while of somebody donating shares or securities, or I understand the capital gains is coming down, so we're prepping some strategies around that as well.
So smart.
And the other thing too is that we're going to be launching in the new year, we're calling it the Friends of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Ottawa. And it's really, when you think about matches, they're out in the community. They're being part of the community. We would love to have a network of support businesses that might let our matches come and do complimentary activities, or a coffee shop that can donate a couple of cups of coffee or whatever, and you'll be part of a club that's supporting the organization. So really, we are trying to create a strategy and a development program that will allow any business or individual an opportunity to donate where they're comfortable and to know that it goes directly to supporting young people and the future of our community.
And here's what I love. Someone can get in at that level and then, maybe it's next year, then they become part, a bigger part. And,
it's the date before you marry.
Exactly.
Sort of
I love that, right? And really see the values connecting and making sure that it's a good fit. Because I think it's important that businesses have that philanthropic plan as well. Like, I would rather a business give to 1 or 2 organizations than give to 10, right? You want them to really make a real commitment to an organization.
I'm a little biased, of course, because I am hopeful that when people date us, that they want to continue dating us, and maybe we'll get married someday, and then we get really heavily involved with each other. We really have everything, that we have something for everyone. If you are looking for employee engagement or your team building experiences or community groups that want to do something together, me and Hope can do that through Thrive. You can do clothing drives in your office space or in your apartment buildings, and you can bring a group down to the store to actually put stuff out on the floor and price it and organize and help with the actual social enterprise. So there's something for everyone. It's all circling back to supporting the young people, and if there's not a time in this world that young people need support more, I think it's now.
Well, for sure. I was saying earlier, I attended the Big Shout Out Awards. I try to go every single year, and this year was no exception. I mean, you know me well enough to know that I get inspired and tears come. And this year, there was a lot of tears. There was a lot of inspiration this year. And I think we forget about the impact to not only, because I saw it, and I saw it today even, the impact to not only that child, but the impact to the big brother, the impact to the family as a whole. It's not just about the kid, although that's obviously putting the child in the center is the core, but the community triple effect is unbelievable.
Well, it's the power of three, right? And that's what we say. It's the power of three. It's the organization, us big brothers and big sisters. It's the mentor, and it's the family and the mentee. And the three of us together really are creating something truly beautiful that lasts a lifetime. I have a brother-in-law who had a big brother when he was a young person. He's 43 now, but he still every year is talking to his big brother, and his big brother's still so proud of him. And I think that his big brother had a lot of the reasons why my brother-in-law has become such a success in his adulthood.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, so there's a personal story everywhere.
Yeah, what do you do when someone reaches out with those stories and they're also a donor?
We want to hear from you.
Right.
This is the marketing and communication side of thing in the profile enhancing. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to do something and somebody's like, oh, I was a big brother. Oh, I had a big brother or a little sister or whatever. And it doesn't matter if it was in Ottawa or if it was in Windsor or wherever. We have an alumni club, and that alumni club is starting to form, and we want to see a more active alumni club that just supports the development communications work that we're doing and helping spread the word. And that's done by their storytelling and telling about their experience. That's the only thing we can do, is tell our stories so that people understand the importance of our work. And if anybody's listening here that's been an alumni, please go to bbbso.ca and sign up to let us know about it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Sam.
it. Erin Helmer joining us today. Susan Ingram, their executive director, couldn't join us today, but we know that she's passionately supporting her community through this important organization. Thanks so much for listening and watching to An Hour to Give. I hope we've inspired you to reach out to Big Brothers Big Sisters Ottawa and become part of their group.